Hey there guys, thank you so much for joining us. We are back today with another Steam sale video. It is the winter sale, the big one, and we have got 20 indie games we're going to pick out for you today that we would recommend checking out. Just want to say hi to Judzilla. You may have seen him on the channel before. How are you doing, my friend?
What's up, Indy? I'm feeling good. Looking forward to the sale. And like you said, we got some fantastic games for everybody. So looking forward to it. Fantastic,
my friend. Well, thank you very much for being part of this. I think we should waste no time today and dive straight on in to our picks. And yeah, I'm going to send it over your way first, my friend. The privilege as the guest today on the channel to pick out your first indie game from the Steam winter sale.
Thanks, Indy. My first game is Descenders. So this is one, it does what it says on the tin, as we say in the UK. This is effectively downhill mountain biking. They call it a rogue bike, which I thought was quite a nice little play on words from roguelike. Very easy to get into, but very difficult to master. It's one of those kind of games that the more you play it, the more natural feeling it is. It's absolutely fantastic. The worlds are procedurally generated as well, which keeps it nice and fresh. Yeah, it's not too much else to say apart from it's a really good game. If you like this type of thing and any sort of racing or, you know, biking enthusiast like myself, you'll love it. So go pick this one up.
So you don't see that many roguelike bike games. So yeah, it's definitely quite unique. Good stuff. So pricing on that one, I think it's pretty sweet as well, isn't it? It's 70% off at £5.84 in the UK and $7.49 in the US. So yeah, great pick to start us off, buddy. Great stuff. Okay, so my first pick of the day is going to be a game I absolutely adored, one of my favourite games of 2023 without a doubt, and that is Jusant. It's absolutely beautiful, this game. If you haven't checked this one out already, I highly recommend you do so, especially if you enjoy a game which just has a nice relaxing vibe to it, but has a nice amount of engagement in the gameplay as well. It's a very special game in my opinion. It is in Game Pass at the moment too, just be aware of that in case you do have Game Pass. You can check it out that way if you prefer, but if you're only on Steam or you maybe wanted to get it for keeps, then this is a great opportunity to do so. Just a stunning, beautiful game. Visually, it really is wonderful in that sense. It's all about climbing, as you may be able to tell, and it's just literally that. There's no obviously combat or anything like that in this game. It's about the relaxing motion of the climb and immersing yourself into that world, basically. It's really special. Definitely check it out. Just let yourself be absorbed by this game and you will absolutely adore it. I'm pretty sure of that. It's obviously quite a new game. It came out on the 31st of October, so the discount is not quite as big, but it's well worth it. It's obviously sitting at overwhelmingly positive at the moment on Steam, which I'm loving to see that. But yeah, like I say, it is at the moment 20% off, $17.99 in the UK, $19.99 in the US, and worth every penny and more of that. It's a stunning game. Like I say, one of my favorites of this year for sure. So yes, sending it back over to my man Juds for your next pick, my friend.
Thanks so much, Indy. My next one from a couple of years ago, probably my game of the year or very close, The Artful Escape. Now, as a musician, this one hits home pretty well. It's an absolutely fantastic story. The game is really simple, you know, as far as controls and things. It's about discovery. You play an aspiring guitarist who's trying to live up to his uncle's legend, effectively. And it starts pretty straightforward, but it goes some places, as you can see, pretty psychedelic. The great thing about this game is the fusion of the gameplay and the music. The guitar playing in this is absolutely insane. I love it. Absolutely love it. And when you're doing your action moves, you basically press X to do a solo if you've not played this game, when you jump in and flying through the air. And the way it blends together, it's beautiful. Very emotional journey. It takes you to places you wouldn't expect. Very simple, but very rewarding. And yeah, I absolutely love this one. So if you haven't played it, guys, go pick this one up.
And it's at 50% off at the moment in the UK, which is $8.49. Definitely a steal for this beauty of a game. Great pick, buddy. That is an awesome one. Okay, so my next pick is going to be The Last Case of Benedict Fox. I love crafty and Metroidvania, so it's very much up my street. I did do a review on the channel of this game, so feel free to check that out if you haven't already. But I did thoroughly enjoy this beauty of a game. I love a Metroidvania, and this one does it really well. Really good sense of discovery in the game, and some cool combat. But one of the best elements of this particular game is the sort of detective element, and your companion who you work with to sort of solve the case by tapping into the psyche of the Fallen. Just an amazing game to explore and very unique and creative especially. So if you like games that get creative, have a stunning aesthetic and have beautiful Metroidvania design, you should definitely check out The Last Case of Benedict Fox, especially for the insanely crazy price right now, which is 75% off at £5.24. That really is a no-brainer pickup in my opinion. £5.24 at the moment in the UK, $6.24 in the US, and yeah, a game I would wholeheartedly recommend. Cool, passing it back over to my man Juds.
Thanks, Indy. My next one is As Dusk Falls. Now, this is an absolutely fantastic game. I really, really like the unique style of this one. Kind of a little bit like a Telltale game, I guess. It's a graphic novel which is animated as well, but not in the typical way that you would imagine that to be. It really is like a comic book. Yeah, it's a branching narrative game. Your decisions really do affect the plot and what happens as you get towards the end of this game and you complete it. It can go lots and lots of different ways. It's absolutely beautiful. The aesthetic is fantastic, and the voice acting is absolutely brilliant.
Definitely.
So yeah, it's just a great game. It's a lot of emotional scenes and decisions you have to make. And you can replay it. You can replay the thing and get a completely different outcome. Characters come and go depending on the decisions you make. As you can see, we got a heist that starts out the game, and then the cops are there to come and see what's going on. I'll say no more, but choose wisely, because people do go away in this game if you don't make the right decision, I guess, to keep them alive. But yeah, absolutely beautiful game. Love it. It's from a studio based in London, here in the UK, funnily enough, Indy, which I didn't know.
Nice, fantastic. Very well said about this game. I loved it too. It's one of those games, sometimes you find games that are like, yeah, it's branching narratives, but this one, it really feels impactful, everything you do in it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's a great pick. So another game that is 75% off at £6.24 in the UK, which is an amazing price again. $7.49 in the US. That is a fantastic price. Wonderful. Lovely stuff then. So my next one is going to be Cocoon. So this game was very highly anticipated by us on the channel, talking about it quite a lot on the run-up to release. Featured it in a couple of my videos, etc. And having had the chance to play it now, it's absolutely wonderful. I'm midway through it right now, actually, funny enough, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Very intuitive gameplay, very elegantly designed as well. It's just very smooth to play and just a fantastic puzzle game, really. It does challenge you in a good way. Never feels frustrating though, but the gameplay changes up so many times all the way through the game and challenges you in different ways, always keeping it original. So yeah, definitely a fantastic game if you enjoy puzzles. If you just enjoy great game design, which is super intuitive, I would highly recommend checking out Cocoon. It's been doing so well, you don't really need my thumbs up, to be honest with you. Overwhelmingly positive on Steam, and also all the awards and everything it's been nominated for this year. It's definitely been one of the big breakout indie hits for the new studio Geometric Interactive from Jeppe Carlsen. Definitely big thumbs up from me on Cocoon. Go check it out, guys. Got a nice little saving at the moment, which is 20% off, $16.79 in the UK and $19.99 in the US.
Okay, my next one is Somerville by Jumpship. And funnily enough, we've just had Cocoon on, and that, of course, takes us back to Limbo and Inside from Playdead, includes the executive producer from Playdead. So this is an absolutely awesome game. I completed it in just over 4 hours. It's a physics-based puzzle adventure game, I would say. Absolutely awesome art style. There's no dialogue. It's all fed to you visually and a little bit of sound. An alien presence arrives on Earth, and you have to figure out what the heck's going on. I say that because it gets a little bit bizarre as you go through it. But yeah, it's really good. Puzzles are very similar to these kind of games. Not too difficult. A couple that you can get stuck at. But yeah, it's a fantastic game. If you like figuring things out with a lot of challenge as you go, you'll really enjoy this game. There's multiple endings. Let me just warn you this one right now. There's multiple endings, and it's up to you to figure out what's going on. A great game for this money.
Absolutely, yeah, really good game. I loved Somerville. So £8.37 in the UK, $9.99 in the US. Definitely check out this game if you like games like Inside and stuff, for sure. Okay, so my next pick is going to be Children of Morta, which is a bit of an older game which came out in 2019 from Dead Mage and published by 11-Bit Studios. Children of Morta is a roguelike, probably could be considered more of a roguelite, I would say, as the game does an amazing job of making you feel like the story is always moving forward. You never feel like you're failing even when you die. Obviously you die, it's a roguelike, etc. But the way the game moves the story on in the game constantly, it always feels like you're progressing and just having a great time with it, basically. Another great thing about the game as well is that you have the ability to control different members of the family, which definitely gives you a nice amount of variety in the gameplay. Some of the characters will have close quarters combat, some of them will be more rangy. But yeah, super elegant package here with Children of Morta. If you like roguelites, it's a must play in my opinion. £4.62 for Children of Morta, $5.49 in the US. Check it out, guys, if you haven't already, especially if you love a bit of rogue action.
Anytime we do one of these Steam sales or we recommend games for people to check out, Planet of Lana is going to be on my list. So if you haven't played it, go look at this game. Absolutely beautiful. Game of the year contender for me. Came out in May, actually, which seems quite a long time ago. You play as Lana, and basically the entire village has been kidnapped by robots, which is always a good start of an adventure. But more importantly, your little sister's been captured. And you can see there she's got a little companion called Mui, I think is how you say it.
That's it.
They do speak, but it's not a recognizable language. Really emotional journey through this one. You learn skills as you go through. The puzzles are really, really good. Again, not too difficult, but they do take a little bit of thinking about, and you use your companion to help you solve the puzzles to advance. Absolutely fantastic game. If you haven't played it, pick it up at 30% off. It's still an absolute steal. Absolutely beautiful game. So go get this one, guys. Do you know what else though, Indy? Here's a beautiful thing for everybody. The game I had before this one, of course, was Somerville. And if you go to the Somerville page, and you can see it on here as well, you can get Planet of Lana and Somerville in a bundle for 55% off. That's an absolute steal.
Well, that is a deal for two amazing games there. Okay, so my next pick is going to be Ghostrunner, and I'm going for Ghostrunner 1. I know Ghostrunner 2 is out, but I just wanted to highlight the first one because I feel like a few people have jumped straight to 2 and missed the first one. So this is a great opportunity, if you have done that, to check out this awesome game. Definitely one of my favorites of 2020. That's crazy. It's 3 years ago now when it came out. But yeah, this was definitely one of my favorites of that year. Super intense gameplay in this game. Feels like an adrenaline rush of a game, really. I always think of it as. It's got a one-hit kill mechanic in the game, so you need to be on your toes at all times, but also you need to be thinking about your tactics to plan which route you're going to move through the environment to kill the enemies as well. Cyberpunk done beautifully in this beautiful looking game, and if you like a challenge, definitely Ghostrunner will have you well checked off for that. It will test you, but the good thing about it is if you die, you come back straight away, and the checkpoints are pretty friendly, but just be sure to play it level by level because it doesn't save mid-level, just so you know. Check out Ghostrunner, guys, if you like a challenge and if you like an awesome looking game with some great music in there as well, with the sort of synth vibes and stuff like that too. Obviously, it's on a great price, as I say, so that is 70% off at the moment at £7.49 in the UK and $8.99 in the US. Definitely worth mentioning right now about Ghostrunner 2 just quickly. That is on sale too. There it is right there. I'm just going to jump over to that just to double check that. Obviously, if you fancy a bit of Ghostrunner 2, if you've checked out 1 already, that is on sale right now at 30% off at $24.49 in the UK and $27.99 in the US. That might be time for me to jump on board number 2 actually, as that's a pretty good deal. But yeah, both of those games, check them out, guys, if you love that sort of thing.
All right, well, this one's going to be slightly different. Shadow Warrior 3. If Doom and Shadow Warrior 2 had a baby, this would be the game. Absolutely fantastic. I think the best way to describe this, and I think they've got it in the description, I can't see, but it's ultra violent. That's definitely a good description.
Definitely.
Not too much to say about this one. First person shooter, lots of gore, lots of chaos. There's only a few weapons in the game. It's quite a lengthy game as well. But the humor's fantastic if you like sort of dumb humor. Lo Wang is back and he's bad as ever. So yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. Just a mindless game to go on, have fun, and kill some demons.
Cool, so my next pick is going to be one I don't think we've ever talked about on the channel, but I've always had my eye on it as a game. Very excited to play. I've not played it yet, but I do own it. I've had it for a little while and just haven't jumped into it just yet. But it's a very unique game where you're like a sort of TV editor or TV producer in the control room, and you have to sort of control different clips, crazy clips of these full motion video things that have been captured beautifully by actors in an eccentric kind of way, but you can really control the flow of how things play out, which I think is super cool. I think you'd really enjoy that from a perspective of just the pure antics that you can cause. But yeah, no, it's just I wanted to sort of bring this one up because it's just one that we haven't talked about before on the channel, and I like to keep this fresh, and a game I cannot wait to dive into. And yeah, it's something a bit different, I think, so definitely give this one a check out if it sounds like something you'd be interested in. It's quite eccentric and there's some good sort of little bits of dark comedy and things like that in there. I'm definitely looking forward to checking this one out, so I look forward to be able to give a report about it. But yeah, Not for Broadcast is the name of it, of course, and it is on a great price at the moment at £7.34 in the UK and $8.74 in the US, so pretty sweet price on that. Cool little unique game to check out. Fantastic stuff.
All right, Indy, Rush Rally Origins. This is part of a series of Rush Rally games. And you know me, I love racing games. I love rally games. I love this isometric top-down view. Yeah. The game's fantastic. It's been criticized a little bit because of lack of features. It's essentially got time trial, championship, race modes, full single player. There's no co-op or online, so you can't cheat when we play online like we normally do. Come out a couple of years ago. Just really good fun to pick up and play. So if you're into these sorts of games, then I would suggest picking this one up. Really good price as well, 34% off. So yeah, this looks great.
Definitely. Great shout, buddy. Yeah, I love these sorts of games for sure as well. I'm right with you there on that one. This one, $7.91 UK, $9.89 in the US. Okay then, so my next one is going to be Season, A Letter to the Future. Another game that I've reviewed on the channel, so definitely feel free to check that out in the top bar if you fancy checking out the review. Beautiful game, stunning art style as you can clearly see right now. Very meditative sort of vibe in the game, relaxing vibes and just sort of like moments of contemplation often in the game, which are really nice. Nice element of photography as well. A kind of focus on capturing the beauty of the world and just being present within it, I think is a way I would look at Season. But like I say, an absolutely beautiful looking game just to take in and relax with. Sometimes it's nice just to change the pace from all the blasting, maybe go from Shadow Warrior to this one. It's probably a good come down from that. But yeah, no, Season's a beautiful game and it's like I say, a very nice experience just to chill with. Really good price at the moment as well. It's at 40% off already, so $12.59 in the UK and $14.99 in the US at the moment. Yeah, just a really nicely done game, and I highly recommend checking this one out if you enjoy the sort of more relaxing games with that sort of vibe.
Okay, Andy, my next game is Atomic Heart. What an amazing game this is. First-person shooter, fantastic graphics, very, very good attention to detail. Think about games like BioShock. It's got some of that vibe in it. The blend of science and paranormal. It's an alternate history game, which is something I absolutely love playing through. It's a very lengthy game. There's quite a few puzzles and things in it. There's lots of hidden challenges in there as well to upgrade your equipment and everything. But yeah, as you can see, it's a beautiful looking game. Very rewarding to play. And it's got a little bit of replayability as well. The story in it is absolutely fantastic. The voice acting is awesome as well. I'm not going to say anything about the erotic vending machines because that's not this show, right? Go play the game to find out for yourself what exactly that means. But I can't recommend this one highly enough. It's really rewarding. You get out of it what you put in. So Atomic Heart. And what's the discount on this one, buddy?
I'll check that out, but I think you've just sold it to everyone with the erotic vending machines.
You can't beat that, can you?
Yeah, exactly. That's all you needed to say. So, yeah, the discount's really good on this one, and it is at $27.49, which is a 50% off discount, and $29.99 in the US. So, yeah, 50% off. Right, so my next pick is going to be OTXO, which is a bit of a sort of Hotline Miami kind of vibe to it. Intense sort of top down shoot 'em up action, as you can see, in a really cool sort of black and white aesthetic with the spray of blood everywhere, which just looks super fun and super cool, but also very satisfying, I'm not gonna lie. This one's from Lateralis Heavy Industries, I believe a solo developer who also done the music as well in the game, which is absolutely awesome, by the way. The music, pumping sort of synths, really getting you going, getting you in the mood just to take down enemies. It's just a blast of a game. It's sort of like, again, that sort of adrenaline fueled gameplay this game has, and a super fun time. It's a roguelike, by the way, as well. Very slightly roguelite-ish, where there's one element that does carry across, but I would say it's falling more into the roguelike aspect, where you just have to get good basically to get further in this game, learn the tropes of the game, and just like I say, get further each time. It will catch you off guard how sort of responsive the enemies can be, but the more you play, you definitely improve in this one, and it feels great. So yeah, OTXO is a really cool time and a really fantastic game. Check it out, guys. It's 40% off at the moment, £6.83 in the UK, $8.99 in the US, and I highly recommend it if you like top-down shooters for sure.
Okay, last stop is my next one, Indy. This is a fantastic game. All of the ones on our list are pretty fantastic, let's be honest, but I really, really enjoyed this one. It's very distinct. You play through 3 separate stories of people's lives. One, you play as an executive who's got some work troubles and some family life troubles. The next minute, you play as a schoolgirl. And what goes on there, as you can see on screen, it's not exactly normal. Then you've got a guy who's like a middle-aged guy that swaps bodies with a young guy. Yeah. I don't want to give too much away, but as you can see from the trailer, there is a portal to go through. Set in modern-day London. I love the storytelling. It's very cinematic. Again, really good voice acting in this one, and a really good art style. And you do get good decisions to make along the way, but it's not quite as impactful, I guess, as Dusk Falls. It's much more of a cinematic kind of story-driven game. But yeah, can't recommend this one highly enough. Very strange, but very rewarding to play.
Great price on it as well, which is 60% off at the moment in the UK, $8.39 that represents, and $9.99 in the US. So yeah, like I say, 60% off. A really great story-driven game. If you like stories, this is a fantastic one. Okay guys, so my next pick is Carrion, which is a Metroidvania. I'd say it's more of a Metroidvania like those. Probably not that open of a game, but yeah, it does have Metroidvania tropes to it. But one of the main things about it, of course, is that it is a reverse horror game. And what I mean by that is you technically will play essentially as the enemy, and you are out to devour as much as possible in your path. And in doing so, you grow bigger and stronger. If you like a bit of hardcore carnage and a bit of horror vibes with a great atmosphere and, like I say, a bit of a Metroidvania mix into it, I would highly recommend checking out Carrion as a awesome game with a unique concept to it too. So this one is coming in at a really good price at the moment at 70% off, and that is at £5.02 in the UK and $5.99 in the US.
Okay, everybody, my next one is Telling Lies. You start out this game as a lady trawling through a surveillance database trying to put clues together. If you played her story, you'll recognize this kind of gameplay. You essentially scrub through video clips and you pick out words and scenes and phrases and things, and you drill down into what's gone on and what's happened. Absolutely brilliant acting in this game. Really, really good. I'll just mention it does say mostly negative on the recent reviews. Ignore that. If this kind of game floats your boat, you will absolutely love this one. Really good mystery. And again, it can be played in lots of different ways as you go down the different paths, picking out the different words and finding out the connections between all these characters. So yes, Telling Lies, brilliant game. What are we looking at for the cost there, Indy?
Yeah, great pick, buddy. It is a really good price on this one at $4.24 in the UK, which is 75% off, and $4.99 in the US. Okay, so this game is my final pick, and it really needs no introduction, and that is, of course, Hades from the amazing Supergiant Games, self-publishing as well. By the way, just on a side note, check out the documentary by NoClip on Hades. It's amazing. But yeah, Hades, of course, if you haven't checked it out already, is a roguelite. It does it so well. The story progression in this game is amazing. It is probably one of the best examples of a roguelite in my opinion. It's completely incredible. It's 10 out of 10. The way it does progress the story is just beautiful. You're always enriching your experience through power-ups and the mirror upgrades, of course, in the game. But yeah, there's just so much to it. There's so many different characters. The voice acting is like awesome. It's just the full package. The music, of course, has to get a mention. Just amazing from Darren Korb. But yeah, all round amazing package. Hades is one of the most incredible games. I'm sure you all know this anyway. Maybe it's an opportunity for you to dive in at 50% off though. That is $10.49 in the UK, $12.49 in the US. This one definitely is one of the best games that's come out in the last few years for sure. But yeah, that represents the final pick of our 20 best indie games, guys. So it's been an absolute pleasure picking out these games. I hope you saw something you liked today. It was certainly a pleasure picking out some games. I think Judd's had some awesome picks. Thank you very much for doing this today, my friend.
Thank you very much for having me, Indy. It's been a great time as usual. And as you say, some fantastic games for everyone to pick out, and I hope they pick some up.
What we'd love to hear most of all, guys, is we'd love to know your recommendations as well. So feel free to drop any in the comments down below. And ultimately, thank you so much for checking out this video. We really appreciate it. If you are checking out this Steam sale video, we also will have another one coming very soon too, which will be our best Steam sale indie games, which are under $10. So if you're looking for a cheeky deal, definitely feel free to check out that video. But otherwise, guys, thank you so much for checking out the video and the channel. Feel free to subscribe, of course, if you enjoy indie games. We'd love to have you on board. But thank you so much again for watching, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.